Preparing to live stream the meeting.
I see it. Let me share the link.
And we are live. Right. Guys, it's so nice to be here with you again. It's the highlight of my week.
I know it's a highlight of mine too.
Oh,
Me
we haven't,
too.
we don't see Matt and his lovely new background, the mountain of coins.
Yeah, it's just a mountain of coins for all the monies that I like to stand on. It's what normal people do, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of physical money, so I don't know what you're doing.
But I don't see your avatar.
It's like Scrooge McDuck, you know. You got to
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
swim
love
through
Scrooge McDuck.
those painful coins. I don't know how you dive into that's like concrete.
Yeah, it just looks so much softer in the comics. Everything looks softer in comics. All right,
More
Cat, take
concerned
us
about him being
take us
around like
in.
two young people, but yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, let's not concern ourselves with that, yeah.
So it looks like we might be live now. Is
Oh
that
no, we're
right?
definitely live.
We're definitely
Oh,
live.
okay.
We're definitely
We're
live.
just rambling on
We're
about
just rambling on about nothing.
That's how we start all of our shows. It's a
let's just not talk about any stocks today. Let's just
signature ramble.
yeah.
Well, one of us has got to start, so
It's
I
usually
think
you.
yeah,
Yeah,
really.
you're the starter guy.
You're the host.
You're the host. You're the
You're the host
host.
of the most. I host the Zoom thing because
And
you
you
guys are.
also, yeah, you also set up everything to gay today appropriately. I don't know why I said too gay. Sorry. Today appropriately.
Freudian slip.
So you can't say that you're still setting up things. So I guess you're good to go, man.
All right, let's get this thing started.
Yeah. Do you have a chart for like the indexes or anything like that, or
A chart for what?
the index like the S&P 500, QQQ?
No, I don't do that. I leave that up to Matt.
All right,
Why don't we
I'll
start
start with
Matt
a
then?
QQQ. I'll
Yeah,
start
we
with a
start with
QQQ.
Matt. We go for the markets, and then we'll talk
Yeah.
about, and then we'll give Tesla Tracker the limelight of Tesla.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let me share the screen here.
Hi,
All right.
everybody. Hey,
Yes.
Florida. Hey, Margin Call. Hey, Heidi. Hey, Sean. Hey,
The
everybody.
the starter cat.
Mhm.
I like that. I like the starter cat. That's a good nickname right there. All right, so you have the QQQ available on my screen, I believe. Yeah, you can see it.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah, so it was a great open and a great close just for the day. This is the daily chart, just to want to show you guys how it opened right at the 100 right there and essentially closed back in the cloud and right under the baseline. So I think that's a good daily development getting back in the cloud. That could really mean that maybe the bottom of the cloud could be support now, maybe around like 460 or a little bit below. So I think that will be good, but there is still that daily resistance at 463.49. But ultimately, since it's back in the cloud, I can see it going back to the 50 moving average and even the top of the cloud in the 480s. So I think the momentum shift is shifting in our favor to the bulls' favor, I should say.
It is
Yes.
upon us.
Yeah, I think it's upon us now. Like this is looking more and more like a daily V bottom right there. So
Yeah.
I do like it. I like how it reclaimed the 100. I like it, how it bounced off the 200. It's just everything in the daily chart looks really good for the QQQ. And on the weekly chart here, you can just see there is that conversion line resistance right above at 463. So that's just more confluence that it could still not break out all the way this week, but you never know. Like it could just continue going higher and higher. So if the week does close above everything right there, I think that'll be a really bullish indicator for the future. So we just got to wait until Friday to see exactly how it closes. But ultimately on the weekly chart, I think that baseline could be some support now, the 458 for sure.
It's almost a Morobuzu candle.
Is that what it's
I
called?
think it
Marubozu?
is. I think it is one.
It's just the, Morobuzu means bald head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just
Danny.
learned that today.
Like-
So the head's bald, but he's got a little bit of pubic hair down there at the bottom.
that's why he's the GOAT, because he's the Marubazu.
Yeah. Marubozu. Hi. Anyways, but what about this wick right here? Does that wick not matter?
That's what I was saying. It's like he's got a
No,
little
it's
bit
if you look at the daily, it's definitely Marubazu.
Oh, okay, daily. Sorry.
Yeah.
I've already moved past the daily chart. I can't
That's
go
all right.
back.
Yeah. It's got a little bit of a hair right there on the weekly. You're not wrong.
I can't
Yeah.
I can't go back. Yeah. All right, let's check out what the IWM. See what's cooking there.
Yeah.
Matt is not just past the daily chart, he's transcended the daily chart.
Well, no, I'm back to the daily chart. The joke's on you. Anyways, yeah, so it closed right at the 50-day moving average, and essentially let's see how tomorrow opens, but it could be some resistance going into tomorrow, but if not, then the next level sits around like the 212 zone, maybe 210 to 212. And I think that could be some bigger resistance simply because the weekly chart is really showing that same thing with the conversion on baseline up there at 210 to 212.67. So even though support held nicely, I don't know if it's going to just bust through this resistance right away. So just the closer it gets to resistance, the more cautious I get. Yes.
I don't know.
So what's next, guys?
Be the
That's it, huh? That's all you're gonna say.
Well, yeah,
That's
there's
pretty
nothing,
quick.
there's no development really except support held and it's approaching resistance. I mean, do you have something else to add to that?
No, I think it's just it's been very, very bullish, and I think we're getting close to resistance. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if we end up pulling back a little bit from here. Especially on the weekly chart, it looks like QQQ is right there. Although the S&P 500 actually looks a little bit better if you want to pull that up and take a look at it.
Oh, yeah, let's go there. SPY or SPX?
Either
Which
way,
one you want?
they look the same to me.
Okay, yeah, oh yeah, ooh, that does
Ooh,
look
right?
good. Yeah, so this weekly candle is developing nicely, way above all resistance levels now. Maybe that support will be the 537 ultimately, but yeah, who saw this one coming? So if SPY can do it, then the QQQ and the IWM can do it as well. So we'll see. We'll see how it closes the week, but if it does continue this way, then that could be really bullish for all markets, really, but especially for the SPY.
See, I just look at that chart and right away I see, like on the left, A, B, and then, we're at a big 1-2. It looks like an AB 1-2 to me.
Yeah.
Like looks super bullish, ready to take off.
So where's the target then, tracker? Is it going to get a 500,
Oh,
700
let's
maybe?
see. SP. I do have something. $6,000. Well, 59,000, 5,959
Okay, for the SPX, yeah.
for the
But
SPX.
one thing I wanted to show you on my GAN here for SPY, I
Yeah.
never showed this to anybody. This has been a secret GAN of mine forever for SPY, but look at that. I'm going to take off all the indicators just so you can see what's going on here. But
Ooh.
look at what's happening. So for the
Ooh.
first time ever, really, it's on the monthly chart, it's flipping this bottom arc as a support
Ooh.
and it even wicked through it. So it's a good development, especially since this 45 looks like it was a resistance right here for a few months. It broke out and basically it looks like it wants to continue higher. So according to this chart, the next level wants to be 625 or so.
Wow.
Yeah. You can't deny the symmetry. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I've never seen this chart before because I think
yeah.
the other one.
I've only shown the SPX. Yeah, I've only shown the SPX before, but not the SPY. So
yeah, because the SPX, I think you were mentioning that we were just like very important resistance, whereas this one actually looks a little bit different.
Yeah, well, they're not exactly the same anyways because of this is the
Dividends and
ETF
all that.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah, dividends and stuff. So, but it does look a little more bullish, which actually makes me change like a little less bearish on the SPX because, yeah, you're right. I'll go show that chart real quick that the SPX did. Where is my SPX? It did hit resistance up there, right?
Yeah, that looks scary, man. That looks like it's gonna
Yeah,
fall down. Yeah.
it does look scary, but the SPY is telling a different story that it wants to just continue higher,
Which one do you go with?
especially, I don't know. I mean, maybe the SPY because it seems
Yeah.
like a lot of money flows in there actually.
Yeah.
So
Very interesting.
yeah, it is interesting.
Well, I
Go
want to show
figure.
one chart here if you don't have much else
Yeah,
to
go
say,
ahead.
because you're always so like brief, you know. Um,
Well, not too much has happened really. Just
you're not
same,
wrong.
same, but different.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But every week's important. But anyway,
That
um,
is true.
so this is the SPY over QQQ chart. So if you know if it you know like how QQ has been outperforming the SPY really since like December 2022. Right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, QQ has been outperforming SPY since December 2022, and recently you see a little bit of relative strength of the SPY over QQQ. Well, I think that might be ending soon. This is the 20-month moving average has been pointing down, and it just looked like it just hit as resistance. So that's cute, SPY. I think QQQ is probably going to come back. And you can also see that too on the recent price action. Like it looks like semiconductors, especially NVIDIA, has been running, hot. Tesla's been running hot. We're going to talk about all these other stocks, by the way. But yeah, it seems like big caps are starting to, like the large cap tech are starting to come back, and it looks like they might end up continuing the trend of SPY maybe underperforming QQQ moving forward. And that's just something that I thought was pretty interesting to look at. If you look at the SPY chart by itself, I don't think we're overextended here at all on the monthly. Bollinger Band is still inside. And if you're looking at the Ichimoku on a monthly, I don't think we're like that overextended anymore because we touched the Tenkan. And I think the next month Tenkan is going to keep rising. So I think we're just, a little bit over too far overextended back in July, but that's no longer the case. We back tested almost perfectly, right? For the QQQ, we also did very similar. Like we kind of back tested, went overshot that a little bit, but we essentially back tested it. On a 2-week chart, you can see that it really just touched like the Kijun almost perfectly. So I think it back tested what it needed to back test, and it's no longer too far overextended. I was a little bit worried back in June and July that we were, but actually, I think the development currently is actually quite bullish.
Yeah, quick
I
test back to the conversion line before continuing on.
Yeah, exactly. Like during every like bull market, you don't want it to be too far away extended from the conversion line. And if it does, sometimes you correct through price, sometimes you correct through time, right? And right now, like all these are very, very healthy bull markets that you're seeing here, they all have a correction. This just looks like a healthy correction to me. And and I think right now we got a pretty nice. I mean, granted, it's only like halfway through a month, but right now we got a pretty nice like hammer with a very nice wick underneath. So to me, these things are generally more bullish. IWM, I still can't ignore the beautiful katana, which is when the conversion and baseline get really close together, and when they break out, they tells you which direction the more or less the explosive move is going to go. I mean, granted, for this month, we have like a initially pretty bearish candle that came all the way down here and almost touched the tip of the monthly Ichimoku cloud there. It didn't really quite touch it, and then just bounced. So there's a lot of demand over here. I really thought that down here, like anything like close to 200 or less than 200 is probably going to be a really good buying opportunity. Whereas a lot of people are just, getting really demoralized about IWM. I actually think IWM might be getting ready to make some pretty monstrous move. I still think so, even despite this like big giant candle here with like a negative wick. I think a lot of people just got really, really sad a little bit too soon. And yeah, I don't know. I think like this candle over here may be a little bit kind of like similar to this candle over here before, further breakout, and maybe like similar to like some of the major, correction candles over here before it breakout. I don't know. There's nothing I can be like that bearish about IWM so far. The 20-month moving up, with the fact that it's like, got a, even on the Supaichi, like it kind of came back and got really close to Supaichi cloud here. And Supaichi also had a bullish cross last month too. So there are a lot of indicators that are just telling me that IBM is getting ready to run. Now, I don't think it's going to be like this, and I don't necessarily think it's going to be like this quick. This cycle, for some reason, seemed a little bit slower to me. And I do think that the reason why that is if you just look at like the US M2 money supply, the ramp up has been slow. Right now we only have data for until June. We don't even know what July, look like quite just yet. We don't have the data available, but it just seems like the U.S. Money printer maybe just starting to get warmed up. See like how fast the acceleration was during the last bull markets, right? Even over here during like the entire uptrend, right now we're still kind of slowly ramping up. So I think we just the cycle may just be a little bit slower. And that's kind of just what my thoughts are in terms of the market. So that's all I
I
got for
see
that.
the beginning of an S curve though. I think it could start to go up
Yeah, yeah,
parabolic pretty soon here.
yeah. I mean, I think it's
Parabolic
gonna.
money.
Parabolic money, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna follow back of the trend, right? I think interesting thing is like around 2017, 2018, 2019, there was a little bit of slump. I think that also was coinciding with like a lot of volatility of the market. And then we had a big giant, move up, and then right now we think we're just getting retracing back to the mean. So as long as it follows this trajectory again, I think that small cap's going to do really well. So that's all I
Yeah,
got.
there was that question about IDBM get hit harder than SPY with geopolitical instability. Like I don't really think so. Just I think the charts are saying that everything is really going to be fine.
Let me pull up the chart here again and see. I haven't done the IW. Yeah, oops. Cancel. I haven't done the IWM over let's see, like IWM over SPY. It's still building like a very strong bullish divergence with RSI. Like this is not sustainable. I think it's getting to the point I think it's going to reverse. And when it reverses, it can happen for quite a while, maybe like a year or two. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know whether or not I really buy into the whole like whole thing. All I'm seeing is just more possibly like some momentum shifting here soon on the IWM over SPY chart. That's all I gotta say. And this is like a higher time frame. If I look at a weekly, if you look at like a smaller time frame, I mean, it looks like the 20 week is trying to flatten a little bit here.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I see that there's also a little bit of like deceleration too in terms of this like downtrend either be over SPY, right? Initially, the deceleration was really huge. It has slowed down, and now it's slowed down even more. So it looks like it's really trying to do a little bit of a trend.
Well, it doesn't really even feel like a rotation anymore. It seems like that rotation stopped and everything's just going together again.
Yeah, I think we're gonna probably end up getting like an everything rally.
Everything rally.
Yeah. So
When's it going to begin? What day? What hour?
uh let me look at a 15-minute chart. I'll get back to you. No.
We should ask the moon and the stars and the charting guy. Yes.
I want to get Charting Guy on here. I want to.
Yes.
Like his stuff is really good, and he
Yeah.
lives in Hawaii, so he's gonna have a little bit of like his internet apparently is not good, so he's gonna have a little bit of delay. But I want to get him on here
You
actually.
should get Starlink.
That's true. It's a part of the United States. Why couldn't you get good internet anyway?
Mhm. So I brought up my the old VIX chart here, and you can see this crazy spike up, and then it quickly cooled right back down. And so I'm just looking for, some oscillation back down. This is like some ghost candles that I borrowed from way back here. I literally just did it while you guys were talking. From the pandemic. This is the pandemic kind of crept on and on, whereas this was just like felt almost like a 2-day spike, 3-day spike. These are daily candlesticks. It just went up so fast. There wasn't like a ramp up of peril. It just suddenly just smacked us in the face. And so, just look for VIX to oscillate and calm down. And it's really interesting. I don't know why I never thought about this before, but like basically whenever the VIX just gets too calm, too flat, that's when you should start to, and prices have been going up and up and up and on the stocks. That's when you should start to worry about taking some profits before it gets another one of these blow off tops to let off some steam. That's pretty much what it does. It's kind of like Old Faithful, right? It just builds up a lot of pressure and lets it off. And then there's a little bit of a quake around the site of the geyser, and then it calms back down and builds up more pressure to do it all again. So yeah, I'm just looking for some oscillation down, lower and lower.
I like how you draw rockets on top of the on the VIX.
You know what's crazy? This is somebody's indicator. Somebody
Is
made
it?
an indicator with rockets and X's on here. It's called
Ah,
the ultimate indicator. Um, ultimate buy sell indicator. Let's see. I just found because I was looking for something like what RBB and you guys use. Let's see. Favorites. Uh, ultimate. It's this one here by Crypto Wari. Crypto Watry. Ultimate buy sell indicator, and it comes with this lovely band that shifts colors, and then the rockets and the X's, and then it turns the candle black. That with the indicator over it or under it. So here's a candle that turned black with a question mark. Does this mean it's going to go up? Here's a candle with the rocket confirmed it's going up. Anyway, looking for an X to appear here somewhere.
we'll never know. We'll never know the answer.
Um, should I go right into Tesla, or do you want me to go back?
Well, actually, if once since you're on the VIX, like if you can
Yeah,
pull up the weekly and the monthly of the VIX to
yeah.
show the candle formation.
Right, I'll just kind of look at that. Just
Yeah, it's like the 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 weekly and the monthly VIX candle is like the biggest shooting star candle I've seen for like a very long time.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, this
yeah,
let off a lot of pressure. So now things should get calm and calmer and for a while, which
yeah,
means that prices can continue to rise and rise and rise.
yeah. Even if it's like, even if it has volatility, as long as it's under 20, I think it'll be fine. But it's just that big giant shooting star candle that you had last week is just is very, very toppy for the VIX. And I think it's very, very good to have that.
Here's the pandemic,
Yeah.
and then and then
This
nothing
this is
happened.
the third highest VIX that I've seen like since the
Right.
1990s. You're talking about this is, yeah, the Great Financial
Great
Crisis
financial crisis,
followed by the COVID
big
shutdown,
short. But
followed
then
by last week.
also look how low the VIX had gotten leading into the financial crisis.
Yeah.
It,
Everybody's euphoric, you know. I mean,
yeah.
that's
Like I said, before the great financial crisis, everyone loved to just short the VIX. Because, of course, as time goes on,
yeah.
these numbers start to creep up higher and these numbers move lower.
I mean,
Um,
it works until it doesn't, right? Like, you remember how it
yeah.
came up from the pandemic, it came up from 2022. A lot of people were like long in the VIX, thinking that volatility is going to go up like 30s and 40s, and it never did until last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think it's cool to look at the VIX, but I'm done talking
What
about
if
it.
greater money
You want to talk about your
supply?
Tesla chart, man?
Yeah, yeah, okay, I'll Tesla. So I was kind of, I can pat myself on the back today. Yesterday, I tried to tell everyone that I thought that Tesla price was going to go up to 208. Not 208. Yeah, yeah, 208. And then it didn't happen. And I'm like, well, the things just, and it, we start off the day going down. And then, where are we? We broke out of this. Yeah, price, it went down. Where am I? Monday. Anyway. But it actually did. Then I said, well, okay, take two. We'll try today. And today it did go to 208. It did go to 208 today. So, and basically, it just went to the 1 hour, 1 hour pivot, the R1 right here. That's what I called 208. And it came within just a few cents of it. Our high was actually 208.47, just 12 cents under the 208.59 that I was looking for. And then I thought maybe price might close near 206.67 today. And we actually closed a little higher than that. It almost looked like it wanted to flag higher and higher until it attenuated after the close. But I think I was looking for two potentials, either in 5 waves up. So we got the wave one up here to the 208, and then wave two comes down to 201, or we're actually getting an ABC up. And I think I'm leaning into the ABC up. So I think price will continue higher tomorrow towards 216, 259, 215.97. And I drew this chart. I could basically just say this is the chart I think is going to happen. Here we are down here, and it's, oh no, I do have to do this one first. So 215 down to 202.86, and then up to 240. Takes a lot of lines to do my TA.
Are they lines?
245.51.
Where are we?
Is right about here. So I'm looking for an ABC that takes us into a larger A.
Mhm.
So we had, 5 waves down right here from the 271 high down to this 182 low. And now we're going to get an ABC up. That'll go 245, 213, I think, up to 335, almost 336. A, B, C, and then each of these waves, it's a diagonal. It's like an ending diagonal. So it's ABC makes this part, and then ABC makes this part, and ABC makes that part. This might be in 5 waves, the last part, but it's mostly ABCs. So they're going to be very violent, crazy moves. So actually, I guess it's ABC is going to feel like 5 waves up, but I think it's really ABC, ABC. So this might feel like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I think they're going to be a bit more violent than that. Maybe corrective waves are always more violent. For anyone that doesn't know that already, even though this did not feel good, the 5 waves going down.
No, I was feeling great. I mean, I could buy underneath 200. Thank you.
Yeah, that's true. It's great if you've got money. Not so great if you've already
Not
spent all your
anymore.
bond and you're just watching it go down.
Not anymore. I mean, it was kind of expected. It won't go beyond 270s like that quickly. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 138.80, that was it. That's the low. We'll never see that again.
So you think that there's going to be recession, huh? Because
No.
yeah, I think it's yeah.
We've
Yeah,
been,
the way that the way it's pointing way up. So you don't think a recession is going to come anytime soon, huh?
we've been in the recession. It's been I call it a asymmetrical recession where it just hits a lot of people harder than others.
Yeah, it's
Some
unfortunate.
people don't feel it at all, and some people will feel it excruciatingly.
The rich don't feel it.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't feel anything.
Or if your just first name is Rich, and then that guy named Rich.
AKA
ABC. So this is, and then here we are coming into the end of the year for 335.97. I think, right after the elections, like Matt's talking about, right after November. And it could correct a little bit into early December. This might just keep busting out though. I was really kind of hoping to see like 347 by the end of the year. Maybe this will go a little higher, but this is what I'm calling for right now. 335.97 into the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Boom. Look at
Boom.
that.
Yeah. Possible.
Dynamite.
Possible. Yeah. You got Matt all excited.
I'm excited. I've been excited. I've been telling people ever since like when I started this thing in October, it's like it's gonna run down, it's gonna get this really low, but then it's gonna absolutely soar in this crazy move up. And it really has. I did not expect it to go back into the triangle again without touching the bottom, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think it's funny how people like Tesla goes sideways for like couple months and everybody got bored, and next thing you know, it just goes from like 180 to 270 and come back to like less than 200.
That was me. I got real bored in here, and I really wish I hadn't.
It was absolutely insane.
I should have known just to like stay. Ever since the 130.80, I should have just stayed long in the TSLA.
I think you were the only one tracker that thought I was going to go under 200 again, though, right?
I was for a while, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw maybe like 205 as the max, but
yeah, I thought 200 was probably going to be it too. But hey,
you mean for the low here?
No, yeah, I didn't know it was going to go to 182. Like 182 is pretty ridiculously low, but it did backtest that arc.
Yeah, your B, like where your B is hitting.
Oh yeah. No, I definitely felt it was going to have to do that.
Yeah.
So we can do this. If you want a nice C wave up, you got to have a good B wave down.
Yeah, lightening it up. Lightening it up.
What else you want to see?
Um, do you guys want to talk about Tesla and just kind of get over with, and then we can jump on to like other stocks?
Sure.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
share my stuff.
yeah, share your stuff.
I can put it all out there for you guys to see.
Want to see it. I saw tracker stuff. I liked it, but I'm ready to move on to your stuff.
All right, well, I got the 4-hour chart pulled up. This is unlike me. But I want to point out what's happening to the Bollinger Bands here. And they're actually they were squeezing on the 4-hour, and we haven't really seen this expansion. We haven't really seen this expansion since really right here, right? Because even like right here, it never pressed up to the top, never pressed up the top. But now finally it's pressing up the top and expanding
Yeah.
the Bollinger Bands, which we're seeing something similar here. So is this the beginning of something a lot greater? I don't know. You guys tell me, maybe.
Pressing harder.
Yeah, but it's looking pretty similar to what we saw
Yeah.
here in the past. So that's kind of exciting to see because usually
Very,
when that happens, that could be building some momentum to continue higher and
Yeah,
higher. So
it's a pretty powerful impulse. I gotta say, like I'm not sure it's gonna like just keep pushing up in one shot, but it's good to see something like that.
it's because of that 0.309 fib 198.43. That was the magical number, and it exploded higher from it.
magic. A perfect fib right
Exploded.
between the 382 and the 236 or the 0.
Yeah, that's the halfway fib between those.
The halfway
So let's go to
fib.
the daily chart, and you can see exactly what really happened. The day even opened the candle at 198.47, and that's at 198.43. So
Yep.
is that a coincidence that it opened above it to explode higher for today? I don't know. You tell me. No. So
He
essentially,
wants to go
all
to.
things.
It
Go
looks like
ahead.
he really wants to go to that 221.26 next.
Yeah, I think so. But there is that downward sloping 219 20-day moving average getting in the way there, which also, when you go on the weekly chart, coincides with the conversion line of the Ichimoku, or it did last week, right? Last
Yep.
week it coincided, but this week it's back up to 224. So it's possible it could run up to that 382 fib for the rest of the week or into next week or whatnot. But a lot of things are aligning up there. Like the bottom of the cloud is up there, the conversion line's up there, the 382 is up there. A lot of things are, and it's back above the baseline on the weekly chart as well, which is also good. And on the monthly chart, I really think that it's going to maintain this baseline, which is at 208.24, and it basically got above there today. So if this just becomes one giant wick and then maybe closes back in the cloud or above the 3.2, then I think it's game on for some serious movements higher.
Yes, please.
So that kind of coincides with what you were saying, Tracker.
Yeah, I think it probably close above the baseline for the month. I'm not sure about the cloud, and it doesn't have to, as long as it
No,
gets up more above the baseline and like more trying to get the bullish cross happen between the conversion base. I'm okay with that, you know.
but I want to see that katana form. I really want to see it.
I know I don't know if it's going to or not. It'd be nice if it does, but yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see. I want to show a different view, and if you can actually put up your chart, I want you to interact with me here. I want you to look at the 1 hour.
Yeah. One. Wait, let me pull up the 1 second chart first and just.
Wait, your 1 hour looks a little bit different from mine, actually.
Does it?
1 hour
That's
Well, I
actually.
have
hours.
pre-market in there, so
I
and
see.
after hours.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I look at my 1 hour, let me share mine then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that way I don't have to make you do my dirty work.
Yeah, I don't want to take off my pre-market for you.
Whatever, man. Yeah, you see, like on the 1 hour chart, I really thought it was at resistance, you know. On the daily chart, it seems like it's at resistance, you know. On the 2 week chart, I'm not like being like a Tesla bear. But on the 2 week chart is at least like really close to resistance, you know. So I think like around 209 or like, you know, like somewhere around 209, 210, you might hit a little bit of a snag. And that's okay. You know, I think it's more just like short term kind of thing. Even for 2 week, you might hit a little bit of a snag around like 209, 210. But I think it's okay. Like the greater trend, I still think is is up. Like if you look at the weekly, I do think that we're breaking a lot of resistance. I agree with you. But I just want to show you that we might be hitting it, maybe underneath like some hidden resistance here, and it might take a little bit of time to get through. I totally can see like tomorrow CPI might be like a cool print, and then things just like wake up, and next thing you know, it gets all sold off. I can totally see that happening, and everybody's all like getting all scared about like recessionary fears and all that. So I don't know. I'm just showing some. I'm seeing some resistance. And I just want people to be a little bit more responsible and not be like too crazy about what happens with CPI. So that's all.
And
it could go crazy. It could just blast right through that
They
209
can.
level,
They
whack
can.
my 216 level. But then, I've got it pulling back down to maybe 202.86. So after that,
But
it could still be a cool week.
yeah. But I mean,
and I,
like a lot of move has already been made, over the last couple of days. So, but I like this GAN.
yeah, I just wanted to show this real quick before we finish. So the original one that I've been showing since maybe last year, December or so, it's back above the blue line again, which I think that could be a support now again, which is maybe 201. And I think as long as this week continues up like this and doesn't close below, I think that could be the new support level before things continue higher. I still think either way that 198, it's already proven to be a very solid support level. So that 201 is just barely above it. So essentially it's like the same range, but being back above it, just looking to the left, how important it is, I really can see positive things happening with this GAN. So
Yeah, I don't think
like it a
we're
lot.
gonna ever get below 200 again. Is what I'm looking for.
Ooh,
200 is
those
just
are
behind
fighting
us.
words, huh? And also right here, I wanted to show this GAN saying how we all know that 182 held perfectly. It was a perfect back
Yeah,
test of that arc, and you can't even make this stuff up. It just happened perfectly like that. So
absolutely did.
that's the beauty, the power of it all. It happened the same thing here too, it just
And
happens
if you could just
sometimes.
remind people, that don't know, the way you set up the scan chart has nothing to do with that arc. It has everything
Yeah.
to do with a 45-degree angle.
Yeah. Setting this up, the arcs they're based off of the size of the whole square, and they're basically like Fibonacci arcs of the whole square. So essentially, once you draw the square, they just are automatic because everything's mathematical and nothing is hand drawn. So therefore, these are more accurate. It's just like a Fibonacci. You can't really make a Fibonacci up.
Yep,
So it's the same thing.
it's just a fact.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how it just kind of works out over time. It's yeah, hey
Yeah.
man, I'm glad I found you guys. That's all I gotta
Yeah,
say.
I mean, you guys saw me when I was like talking about it back here, right? And you're like, and
Yeah,
then bam, broke out, and then it backed up. Like I didn't change anything, and it's just been magical ever since. Yeah, yeah, it's been great. I'm glad we all found each other.
me
Yes,
too.
yes.
So what's next? What's next on the menu?
I think
NVIDIA.
we can talk about Palantir has been going beast mode recently, so we can
Beast
talk about
mode.
that, and then we can move on to some of the semiconductor stocks, and then Bitcoin, and then whatever people want to talk about, and then we'll end the show.
Okay, so I'll pull up my Palantir. Let me go to
Gonna pull on his Palantir pants.
my pee pants.
And poop pens. Yeah.
All right, so this is the log
Anyway,
scale one. This is the log scale chart. I digress. Yeah. This is the log scale chart that I showed on X earlier today. And essentially, it still hasn't even hit that arc yet. So I can still see some momentum up there to maybe go to that, what, 3160, 3170, maybe even up to wick up to 32. But I don't really see any crazy movements. But one thing I do want to point out here is on the linear scale, not the 1 hour, come on now. On the linear scale, it's above its angle right there, and it's above the 618, which is actually a pretty big deal. So even if it does get up to that 3150, 32 up there, that does coincide with the arc on linear scale. So that kind of makes sense with the log scale angle as well. So I can see resistance there, but this could be flipping to support, right? The 618, it really could be. And if that's the case, then 30 might be the low, as low as it gets. Maybe it could wick down below a little bit, below where this wick was already, right? Because the week's not over yet. So before we jump to conclusions, I really want to see where this week closes, because if it closes much higher, then that could be a support. But if it comes back down below everything, then obviously it's still resistance. So got to wait another 3 days just to see what really happens to that 618, because I'm really curious to see.
I think we're not going to see below 30 again.
Well, it
Just
depends
like
on
I
the
don't think
weekly
Tesla's
close,
going to see
really.
under 200 again. I think we're just about done with being below 30 again.
Well, eventually, Palantir's never going to see 100 again after it breaks it. So,
Yeah.
But you'll see it again when they split. So
Yeah, after that.
oh yeah, the stock splits. Yeah.
I've got
All right, who's next sharing their chart?
do you think that it broke above the angle then? Based on this, like, do you think that it's gonna run a lot higher?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it really has that opportunity. Like earlier in the week, it was down below. I'm like, it's not gonna hold it. And then later in the week and today, just one day later, really, it's back above. So, I mean, I like how it opened above the 386,
Yeah.
because when things open above resistance, they have a pretty strong possibility of a continuation. And since I like to use the confluence of that log scale, that log scale chart, simply because uh it's pretty accurate. Like look at this level up here, the blue arc, it's at 3180, and up here that angle, when we zoom in, up there is about like 3182, you know. So it's different scales of charts, but the exact same
Yeah,
resistance.
it's
So I still
interesting.
I
Yeah.
still think there's a possibility of getting to 32 or so before any rejection now.
And another question I have for you, where do you think this thing's gonna go in like 3 to 5 years?
Well, I still think by this date here, September 23rd, the week of there, 2024, it's going to hit $35.
Great. What about
So,
beyond that?
and then it's going to October or November 4th, that's election week, is going to hit 39.62, maybe even 39.99. Okay. And no.
You said
In 5
September.
years,
September what date again to hit that confluence area?
the week
September
of
23rd.
September 20, the week of, not just the day, the week of that,
The week
right?
of
So the week of
35
September
bucks.
23rd.
I'm gonna show
Yeah.
you something in a second after you. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. But in 5 years, I see this blue level being hit. 101, 102.
Nice.
That's what I see. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, I'll let you share yours then.
Tracker, do you have one? I mean, I can share mine then. I'll go first then.
Yeah, here, wait, let me see.
So let me, can you
There we
see
go.
mine?
I'm up here real quick. Here's my Palantir chart.
Pulling up yours. Okay.
Looks like we
What's
got, we're heading for 3347 is what I'm looking for. And then a test back down to maybe 3085. And then it's this little ending diagonal into a wave 3516. Then it tests back to 3138. And then it starts. Of course, it won't go in a straight line here. This will be all over the place too, but probably 5 waves up to for you. 4779. Something like that. And then we'll get an ABC down, but it won't break. Anyway, you're not supposed to break below 30.
I was gonna say, so you do think it's going back down?
No. It shouldn't. I think it'll come right down to 30
Yeah.
maybe. And then the whole thing continues on higher after that. I don't have anything for like 5 years out, but just based off of an all-time high of 45. No, I can't do it that way. But I could do it this way. Here, wait. If I just say from the 550 low to 51, no, wait, 47.79 to 30. So then it would go 151, 68, 13. That's crazy. Kind of though. It might do well. Maybe you have to break it up. But I would say we go to 151, 6813, 549, 247, and then 4,000. Wait. This is the wrong.
What?
No, the scale is wrong. I'm sorry. I was messing around with the
You
logarithmic scale. That's why it's all messed up.
don't make me too excited. I mean,
I
but
know. No. I'm so sorry. That was wrong. It was all wrong. Like, how is this? This can't be right. Put the wrong scale on. All right.
man,
So, yeah, this is better. This is better. So 62, 68, 46, 68, 88 to 72 to 130, 43. So I guess we'll get to Matt's 100. One, three, two, not right away. Yeah, it's like the last part of the cycle when it's going into the fifth wave of this whole thing. I'm sorry, I can see with my brain, but I didn't draw it for you guys. But yeah, basically just kind of do you here 764 382 632 is right here 1382 100 and then 2382. So yeah, it's not going to get to Matt's 100 till after it. Wave 3 is going to fall short of it first, but then the wave 5 should exceed
What
it.
what exact day?
I don't. 5 years from now. We'll just say 5 years from now, and then we'll see.
It's not very
Maybe
precise.
maybe 2030. Yeah, the year 2030.
That's not 5 years.
That is not 5 years. 6 years. Sorry, I'm off by a year. It's kind of crazy. Sometimes price really does follow these channels for a very long time because it's essentially sometimes I'll draw a channel and now I realize all I'm doing is I'm drawing one of Matt's GAN one of his GAN lines. The arc that I'm seeing or the channel I'm seeing is really just price fluctuating around an arc one of his arc fan lines, his GAN fan lines. And I was trying to do that with Tesla over here and over here. Messing around earlier today, trying to well, this is like a GAN fan and I tried to take price. I tried to do a channel here and then pull it over here. It's like, well, it's almost right, but the angle's a little off. It's like, oh, that's right, because basically, essentially, they're all just fan lines. So now I see these charts so differently now. Now that I've taken Matt's GAN charting class, and it's like, oh yeah, this is just over. There's a fan line for that. There's a fan line for this. Anyway, exciting stuff. I got a way of Palantir, but basically, I like A's idea that basically Palantir just likes to test $5 at a time.
yeah, he's such a traitor.
35 to 30,
Yeah.
40 to 35, then it'll be 45 to 40, and so on.
I think that works until it doesn't. I'm gonna kind of show a little bit as to why I think that is.
Yeah, it's probably gonna stop working after because this one goes to 47, not 45.
Yeah, because I think I actually think Palantir look very similar to like Lululemon back from like 20 years ago. But I can yeah. It's but before I do that, I just want to
Palantirs, they sell yoga pants or what?
yeah, they are. They're totally but yeah, so
I'd
it's
buy some.
funny. It's interesting that Tracker is saying that we use different methods. Anyway, before I do that, I just want to show off from when was this? From July 2022.
I love these charts of yours, by the
Yeah.
way.
From July 2022, this is like more than 2 years ago. And this was I drew this on Yahoo Finance. And I did not use any indicators. I was just basically looking at like different fractals and I was just trying to pick it up like this fractal. It looks like this is very, very similar to what it's doing over here, but except it's just doing inverse, right?
Yeah,
And I was totally seeing this is going to be a killer.
symmetry.
just like how this is like a distribution zone. So I was expecting some mirroring over here, like it basically have all these peaks and valleys. I was kind of expecting to do the same, kind of shake everybody out. And then once we're done with that, we're going to go up, right? And if I had to make a guess, and that was just like my wild guess at that time, I thought it was be like, 30 to 35 bucks, and here it says in 2023, early 2024. Obviously, they didn't move that. But if you look at the side over here, it says target 30 to $35 in 2 years. So I think it did make $30 almost exactly in 2 years. So I'll take the credit for that. It basically looks it basically just looks the same, basically from what I've drew.
It's not early 2024 though.
I know, I know, I know, I know, I know,
You're months off, Cat.
I know.
Wrong. No.
But you were talking about September 23rd, the week of September 23rd, right? Around $35. So I have, instead of doing it again, I did a pitchfork, which seemed to work. Like this has basically just been channeling up. It broke down into the channel down here, and then it just broke out with this big giant move up, and since then it's just been stuck in this channel up here, right? If you're talking about September 2023, right, not
24.
September 2020, September 23rd, 2024, it's going to be around like 35.5.
Boom. See, more confluence. It's gonna happen. See, Heidi, it's magic.
So I'm gonna call that date together with you, and we go down together.
All
You
right.
know.
Yeah, see, okay, Heidi, so you gotta call us on it if it doesn't happen.
I made plenty of like date calls that don't happen. So like you don't if you follow me for like timing, you're doing it wrong. So this is Palantir, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and just draw from the cycle high over here. I'm gonna do like a linear Fibonacci level on a log scale chart. It's just like sacrilegious, but I don't care. So if I just do this, you can see that the 1.618 and the 2.618 is around like $69 and $108 somewhere around there.
Mhm.
Look at what Lululemon did. Like look at how this looks and look at Lululemon back in when it started IPO in 2007 and it went up, and then next thing you know, the great financial crisis happened, and Lululemon dropped all over from like $30 all the way down to like $2, right? And then after that, it's just been following these Fibonacci levels, kind of going up. And I think there's a lot of stops over here. I guess a lot of stops over here around like the 0.382, a lot of stops here around the 0.618. None of these are surprising. And then eventually, after you break the let's see, yeah, eventually after you break like the 0.786, it just went beast mode, hit all the way up to like 2.618, which is completely reasonable. And since then it's just been oscillating for years between 2.618 and 1.618 is extension until it breaks out again. So if you ask me what Palantir is doing, I can see it totally doing something similar. If it breaks about the 0.618, I can see it maybe you have hit some resistance at 0.786. But then I think it might end up making a very, very powerful move all the way up to like 1.618 after it breaks about all this stuff. And part of the reason why is because you also don't have much like volume shelf resistance anymore. We spent a long time over here at this range, between like $20 to $30. We spent like almost a whole year here in 2020, 2021. And that's why it took us so long to try to get above this range. I think once this range breaks, maybe also after we break like around 35, 36, somewhere around there, I think we probably end up getting rejected right at that point of your confluence, Matt. And then after that, it's going to probably come back down. I don't know how far I would go, but in my back test some of the channels, my back test some of the fit levels here. And then after that, I think the move is going to be pretty powerful just because of the volume shelf. I think it's probably going to be pretty powerful and it's probably going to hit like the 1.618 and 2.618 here within a matter of maybe somewhere over here, like 2 or 3 years or so is my best guess. When it hits that, it's probably going to end up consolidating sideways for a while. That's my best guess looking at it. That's what it looks like they want to do. And this is essentially a distribution and reaccumulation. And I think they're just going to basically drag this thing on for years, while taking into account of a lot of the valuation, like way ahead of time. The next thing you're probably not correct for a while. But I don't care. Like, I mean, my cost average is like around the 15s now. I mean, I average up from like the 12s to 15s, so I don't really care if it ends up going up here to like 1.61 to 1.618. I might take some profit up here. But I think I'm probably just going to end up like just riding this thing up because I don't see this stopping for the next like 2, 3, or 5 years. I just don't see it stopping. The fundamentals also seem to align with that as well. So
yeah, it's gonna be magical.
yeah. So yep, that's my Palantir chart. And I guess we can move on to the semiconductors, NVIDIA, and all that good stuff.
NVIDIA. So my turn, I guess.
It's your turn again.
Always.
Always me. All right. So I'll start with NVIDIA on linear scale here, and I'm gonna just show the daily chart, and it's back in the cloud. It's back above the baseline, and it just looks really good for a continuation, possibly to the 120s, maybe 125, 28, 26, whatever. It looks just really good on the daily chart there. That like a V bottom back above most of the daily resistance already, which is pretty incredible to see, really. And on the weekly chart here, it's even back above the conversion line, but there's still, again, 3 days left. So we got to wait. But it's back, more importantly, just off of this, it's back above my 45-degree angle that was lost once upon a time. And now I think that's going to be support regardless now. And that's around 110. So that's basically my support target. And I think once it breaks those daily resistance levels and maintains that, what was that level here on the Ichimoku again? It was what? 115.73. Once it maintains that, I think it's going up to 145, up to this zone up here, and that'll be the next target. But ultimately, it looks really good once again. So that's why I kind of think the rotation is over from these high growth or big cap, whatever you want to call it, into small caps. I just think maybe it's almost time for that everything rally. I mean, things seem like it wants to move together now. Like markets are moving together. Even kind of crypto is moving together a little bit too with everything. And usually when stocks do well, sometimes crypto sells off. But even Bitcoin had a pretty good day today too, so it's pretty interesting to see how everything really moved up today, which is kind of suspicious. So we'll see what happens with that.
Wait, can you go back to that chart just real quick?
Nope. Yeah, go ahead.
Look at that. Look at the GAN arc. You essentially, NVIDIA did that whole GAN arc in 2 bars. There's like a green bar that goes over it, that goes through it on one side. It goes all the way up to 140 almost, and then comes back down and then does that arc again in one candle. So there's only 2 candles doing the entire, the arc between, like just move your mouse up a little bit and then go to the right a little bit. That one candle, and then the next big green Moro Butsu, that one right there. That whole arc is just done with those 2 candles.
Yeah, just 1, 2. Yeah,
Yep,
they look
1, 2,
like
and that was done.
They look like
that's
field goal posts in football, like.
Yeah. Like that was it for
But
that whole
honestly,
arc.
and this was this open right here was the scare, the whole carry trade scare, and that was basically right at support. It opened a little bit below, but who cares? Like that was an opportunity. Not only that, it was a back test of a previous all-time high. So everybody that was frightened just missed out on a great opportunity right there. And honestly, this is one of the better looking charts out there now because it's really above everything now, especially my 45. So I think it's only a matter of weeks before it probably gets back to all-time highs, or maybe even months. I don't know. I don't want to just say too much time because Heidi's taking notes out there.
The news media is already screaming back, NVIDIA, it's like it's the different stock. This is the one that it's the most important stock of 2024 and blah blah blah. So,
yeah, it's just crazy how
Always
everything's
fall back into it again.
Everything's just moving together though now. Like crypto, everything, it's really, really good to see. So maybe this is the beginning of that everything rally. We'll see. But real quick, I just wanted to show the log scale chart where resistance is going to be ultimately, and that's going to be around the 120, 121, 122 zone right up there. And that is that green level that I did tell you about before. When it was above it, I was excited. Yay, 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 yay. Then it just fell below, right?
Oh.
So now it's approaching that again. So I think that 120 level will be a bigger resistance level this time around. So after that, maybe there'll be some more consolidation before it actually finally breaks through to that 3.618 fib. And again, just a friendly reminder, that is from the 2007 high down to the 2008 low. That's that Fibonacci, just because things have been so perfect as support, like the 1.618, 2.272, and so on. And this 45-degree angle was also so beautiful back in the past. And now, yeah, I just don't have anything bearish about NVIDIA. I think 93 was definitely the bottom, and it's just going to 120, and that is probably temporary resistance.
It's going to go for that 3618 right there. You saw how much it loved the 1618 down below now.
Yeah. And it already battled that 2.618, so it's not going to go back there. It's gotten this close to the 3.618, and if you even just take off the GAN, you can see like it's not going to stop short. It's going to go and wick through at least above and continue higher, maybe the 200s. And ultimately, I think it will get to the 4.236 up there. So this chart is magical. Like, look at that support.
You think it's going to hit the cycle, the 4.236?
This cycle, maybe not. I mean, it depends. Like, if their chips maintain superiority, then it's possible, right? Because then everybody will still want them, and then they'll just have trillions of dollars in revenue at that point, and then money doesn't even matter, and then we're all living off of robots. So yeah,
and a couple of years after that, it's the singularity. So
yeah, the singularity. That's when it hits 500, then the singularity will happen, and then
start Bitcoin to a million, or it doesn't matter. Yeah, look, the weekly candle so far looks like a bald-headed guy. So
a bald-headed guy.
Marubasu.
Oh, I thought you said a bald-headed guy.
I did.
I was like, Danny, is he here?
I wish. I wish. But that's what trackers said the Marubasu stand for. I mean, like, it's basically no wick right now. It's just it opened on Monday, and it just like kept going, and it didn't even want to stop.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, already this week is a 10% weekly candle. And I mean, what if it just continues up and closes above that level? That would be amazing, right? Then I think that would once again be support, and then it's game on for the 200s.
But the carry trade though, in the recession, that's
you guys want to see the carry trade real quick? I think I posted this
want to. Just look at like how beautiful that last weekend was. I mean, come on, guys.
So I highlighted it for everybody. Here's the Nikkei stock exchange in its entirety on the monthly chart. And you can see the previous all-time high back here in 1989. That was, why did it sell off there? Well, it reached the top of a GAN level, right? And now it flipped that level to support. And what did it just do during that whole scare? Well, it maintained that angle, and it almost went back to back test that green line. So whoever was freaking out, I posted this on August 5th when it happened, and I said, it's just a simple back test. And who was right? I was. And you were too, Kevin.
Meet Kevin was right. No, I'm just kidding.
Meet Kevin was totally wrong. I want to go on a show and debate him so bad, so hard.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, Tracker, do you have an NVIDIA chart to show, or?
Oh, let me think. I mean, let me see.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, like, we
do, but
and then I think I'll show my NVIDIA, and then I'm gonna let Matt do his lightning round thing with Bitcoin and everything else, all the requests, maybe other semiconductor stocks. So
I'll be quick. Quite quick here.
The lightning round.
So my NVIDIA chart goes to the 618 extension off of it's basically off of the whole price history of NVIDIA. So I kind of go way back to, I guess 1080 was maybe the pandemic. The 97.39 high, then to the 75.60 low. And so my 618 up here is where I think we're going to go next, 129.11. You are here, and of course, price won't necessarily get there in a straight line. It's probably going to have to go sideways, maybe around the 50% mark at 118.90. Then instead of coming all the way back to the 3, that had originally 764, 382, and I just sort of attenuated it a little bit. So, maybe it just comes to the 50% mark, actually. Oh my gosh, why am I on a 15-minute candlestick?
Because you love 15-minute candlesticks.
It's been, because I'm helping out the day traders during the day on Tesla. Yeah, 129.11, maybe comes down a little bit. Then 162.19 twice, basically. I don't know why, but that can't be right. Yeah, I'm sorry, this is a mess. Obviously, I've been messing around with this and not keeping it up to date because I haven't been doing anything with NVIDIA. 618. Normally it would be 764, 382, 1382, 100%, and then 2382. And I guess I just thought that chart looked a bit too much like this one already. Yeah, sorry, Teach. I didn't do my homework.
No worries. No worries. I think it's
Yeah,
okay.
about this
Yeah.
one just kind of goes right on up through to 195.27, but it'll probably have 5 waves up inside of this one, which is going to feel a lot like 162.19 is going to feel like the price is going to be hanging around for a little bit before it finally gets up to the 195. All right, I said I'd be quick, so I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, I think the gist of it is the corrections seem to be done, and it looks like
It
we
was
might be.
just sound like sometimes you have blow off tops that let off
Yeah.
steam, so price can keep going lower on a penny stock.
Yeah.
You can also have like blow off bottoms so that they
Yes.
just have to do a quick retest back down so that
Pat
the
loves
price can
blow-off
continue
bottoms.
going higher and higher. That's what we had.
But we got like I'm showing the. Can you guys see my chart?
Yes.
Yeah.
NVIDIA monthly chart. You remember back around like June, July, I was a little bit worried that NVIDIA was overextended because it was too far away from the Tenkan.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
also it
I
was
kept talking
everybody
about that, right?
you
Like,
get
yeah, I mean,
punished because of the Bollinger Band.
right. It could go actually Bollinger Band actually pretty decent. But I'll show that in a little bit. Like I was just worried because usually when things get a little bit too overextended from the blue line to the conversion line, it either corrects through time or through price. Over here it did that for like 6 months. So I was worried that it's gonna be like a while, but now it looks like it just kind of went back down and hit it in a hurry. That to me,
Big hurry. So it can keep going higher and higher.
exactly. That to me, and also the fact that it was a big giant wick down and touched it and got a lot of demand up, that to me looks like it wants to go higher.
Yeah.
Like I just, like it didn't go sideways. Initially, I thought it was going to go sideways over here like that. I thought it was going to go sideways over here like that because that's kind of where I thought the phase of the bull market is. But no, I just decided to go down and hurry back. That's usually these things tell me that maybe the trend is not that exhausted yet. Maybe it wants to keep going higher. So I'm ready for NVIDIA to go higher because it touched the tank and it touched the conversion line. You look at the Bollinger Band on the monthly. I'll show you the update. Unless the price get really impulsive again, I think there's a little bit of exhaustion. But I do think that it might be getting ready to run up higher because it's just not really that overextend on the along the upper Bollinger Band. Looks like it wants to keep going higher, especially with so far halfway through the month. We have a very, very nice wick down underneath. I guess we'll see how the month close. But I just get the feeling like it wants to keep going higher. I don't know whether or not the trend get exhausted again. If this turns out not expanding down further, and it's going to take quite a lot of really impulsive price action, even if price just goes slowly up to like 200, 300, you're going to get a Bollinger Band contraction. But if you're having some pretty impulsive price action, let's say like over the next like 3 or 4 months, like it goes to like 200, then it can potentially continue to expand, right? And when that happens, I'll be like, wow, the trend's not exhausted yet. I think we have longer to go.
Show us the bottom of that previous Bollinger Band.
So this is the before,
Or the one before that even.
and the one before that went all the way over here
Oh, yeah,
again.
see, look, that one's got
Yeah.
some low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, it's got a little low-hanging fruit over here, but like generally 2017, that was like the part time where I thought it was getting a little bit exhausted, And you do have a little bit of, increased push ups, but either way, like the band started contracting over here. So I just wonder whether or not we're at the junction we're starting to get a little bit of exhaustion. What I meant by exhaustion is that I don't think Prime is gonna make a 10x from here on out, like it did before, right? I think it might make another like 3 or 4x maybe, before maybe some kind of crazy like 30, 50, 70% down. I don't know. But I still think that the bull market still got some juice on it because I can't see price just tanking from here when the
No.
Bollinger Band is still all the way down here at the bottom. I just cannot see that. I see price potentially continue to go up higher over time on bearish divergence, kind of like we did over here. I keep showing the same chart. I think we're getting close to maybe like around here. And price kept going up on bearish divergence. I think we're getting close to like around here, and price kept going up on relative bearish divergence. And I think we're right around the same area here. But if NVIDIA surprises me, if it goes all up to like 200 within like a next, by the end of the year, which I'm not going to say is impossible because it's NVIDIA. If it goes all up to like 200 by like December, which I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. But if it does, then the Bollinger Band underneath, I think that would continue to expand down further. So I don't count on it though. I really do think that the trend exhaustion is happening right around here, which means maybe like mid 200s to like maybe 400, somewhere around there is probably going to be my target range. Anyway, that's all I gotta say to NVIDIA.
I think, if they start making artificial intelligence packages more accessible to more and more companies. In other words, right now, all the AI research and all the chips are concentrated in a handful of companies, but I really see that broadening over time. And so NVIDIA will have the demand will basically go to infinity. Like,
Eventually, but things go through cycle, right? Like at some point, people are
right.
going to get super euphoric, and some point, there's going to be like way too many like chips capability that people don't know what to do with. So eventually, you're going to hit to a point where the cycle is going to end up cooling down. It's
No,
just
I think once they start to figure out how to it's like when oil was first discovered, and then they could, there are a limited number of uses for oil, but then once they, DuPont got involved, and they came with a whole bunch of different ways to make oil work in the economy, and we got this oil-based economy. I mean, oil didn't go to infinity, but the demand for oil was basically as high as, the more energy you could get, the more you could do with your economy. And you're just
yeah,
limiting the
yeah.
number of people.
But
But,
even then, oil went down to the negatives just a few years ago.
well, that was a crazy situation because
I know.
oil
I'm just
had to be
joking.
paid to
Yeah,
be stored.
yeah,
You have to store that oil, and it costs money.
yeah.
But no, I mean, like the number of people, the number of applications for AI will just start to go through an incredible expansion, and then there just won't ever be enough chips for, like, that'll be like the limiting factor for a
Yeah.
while until the wall is just like,
Yeah, I think our brains can't even fathom it because like if crypto really does explode and all the different like needs it's going to satisfy, it's going to require way more chips too. So since
yeah,
something like this has never happened before, our little brains cannot even comprehend it.
yeah.
Right, but I still think that things go over cycles, so you're going to have a down slump when everybody's euphoric, and they're going to try to shake
Yeah,
out the weak hands, and
but
before
who
you know
knows? Like it could be a super massive, exponentially blow off toppy kind of situation.
Yeah.
Can you say that sentence one more time?
A blow off toppy kind of situation. Yeah.
Where things get squeezy and it just keeps squeezy
Yeah,
higher.
squeezy, explosive yeah,
I,
exponentially.
I'm going to
Yeah.
go on record and say that the only thing that will disrupt will happen in the future, quantum computing will disrupt all of this.
Yeah, I
NVIDIA.
mean, if quantum computing like comes in, then yeah. But anyway, I still think things go for cycles. So no matter how,
Yeah, no,
bullish.
you're right. It cycles.
Yeah, they do, but nobody knows when the cycle top really is going to be. So that's
Yeah.
the only variable really.
Fair. Well, if the
Disruption.
Bollinger Band comes back from the bottom and get closer, I'll be a little bit more worried. That happened to
True.
Tesla, on the monthly too.
True.
So But
True.
anyway, Matt, you want to go do the lightning round?
Bye, bye, bye. Sell, 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 sell,
You want to go through like a few of these semiconductor stocks, you like
Well,
SMCI.
there was a couple of requests of GME and
We can go through that
Roblox
too. Yeah,
too.
we can go first. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're not gonna wait them wait, and then we're gonna go through the other stuff.
yeah. All right, so I'll pull up my GME stock chart, and it lost that angle, right? It lost it as support, so I hate it now. No, just joking. I don't. But it's essentially it could go down to that arc and back test just because you can see right here that it was a resistance in the past, was kind of like a support in the past. So it kind of makes sense to do that. But essentially, this if you put on the SMAs here, it's holding that 100 really well. So who knows if it'll like come down there. But the thing is, like they're still kind of sloping down. The 50 is sloping up again, so that could be the support down there around 17. But I still think there is a possibility this could just be like maybe a quick V bottom to recover back above too. So we'll see. But it would make sense to me for max pain to be around 16, but not guaranteed to get there. But I am cautious as it did lose this resistance angle right there. But at the same time, it could just continue up as resistance all the way back up here as well. So into 2025. So we'll see.
I want to show you something. Look
On
at the
GME?
look at the monthly, and then look at the bull in Japan.
Is it squeezy squeezy?
It's not squeezy, but not the Puma support band, but the
Oh,
Bollinger Band.
sorry.
God,
I got too excited.
look at what's going on right now. Look at that.
Oh yeah, right. A back
Isn't
test
that
of the
magical? Yeah,
20-month.
and the 20-month is flattening. It hasn't done that. It hasn't done that since 2020.
Well, that's why I brought up the possibility of the V bottom just going back above too, because that could happen, right? Maybe Roaring Kitty will get back on YouTube or something, and or what's it called, Reddit, and just explode things higher. Who knows?
Yeah, and then since you're so keen on looking at the bull market support band, you can look at the weekly and look at the bull market support band as well.
I wasn't really keen on it, but okay, I'll
You
do
are.
it.
You love it. You love it.
Well, you can look at it on the monthly too. It did wick
Yeah.
below it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
So-
more beautiful on the weekly. Like it's
Ah.
yeah, it's just
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just right there. Like it bounced very nicely.
Yeah, so this could be just the beginning of a V bottom, but again, there still is that 200-week moving average up above there as well at 26.92. So I got to keep that in mind as well. So
The Ichimoku cloud on the weekly, but the Ichimoku cloud on the weekly.
okay, yes, it's above the cloud.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Bounce from
there is
support. Oh man. Okay, fine.
yeah, but the conversion line is right where my angle is too, and
Right.
it's really sloping down like hard. You know.
All right. Like
So-
yeah. Okay. Like it's squeezing a range, so it's probably gonna squeeze there for a while.
Yeah. Maybe not a V bottom, but if it does get back above that angle, I'll be like Jim Cramer and buy, which is opposite. So you don't want to buy. Yeah.
All right. I'm done making you do things for GME. Thanks.
All right. I will do Roku. Not Roku. Roblox, because that was a next one. And there it is. It's right at resistance of the angle. And essentially that orange level is going to be the target. You can see how important it has been in the past. So possibly it'll get there again, but I'm not sure if it's going to break it this week or next week or not. But it held the 50 and the 100 perfectly on the weekly chart. On the Ichimoku, it's basically also battling the top of the cloud, which is also resistance, which is the confluence of the 45-degree angle there. But the good news is it opened this week back above the baseline, and it's even back above the conversion line. So that is exciting to see. So that could lead to a possible break of this resistance zone, maybe this week or next week. But ultimately, I do like this one longer term just because it keeps making a series of higher lows here. And this looks like it could have been the last higher low right there.
Yeah, it's also back above the 20-month moving average. And it's the monthly Ichimoku is also back above the conversion. So it's not looking bad.
Oh, somebody made a mistake. It wasn't Roblox. It was Rocket Lab.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rocket Lab. That's what I figured they would say. That's what I figured they would say. They're so offended right now.
I like Roblox though. Why not? You know,
Roblox is
it's not a
cool.
crit. It's not a. What am I even typing? Do I even type words?
It's a whole
How do
generation of
you? What is the ticker of Rocket Lab?
RKLB, Rocket
Yeah.
Lab,
Okay.
RKLB.
Am I taking crazy pills or what?
I don't know. I don't know what you ate for dinner, man.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had dinner. I think that's the problem. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So therefore, yeah, it's back in the cloud. Maybe that's support now for the weekly chart. So I can see it going back up to the $6 zone, maybe 580s, right? So we'll see what happens with that. But I don't have a GAN for this one. I would have to map one out. But apparently it's still kind of like just building a long base there. Like there's really no market structure to it. It's just in a flat zone. Like when you really zoom out like that, it's not doing anything. But if it eventually does get on top of this Ichimoku, I can see it going much higher.
it's
And
actually a
that would
very,
be,
actually pretty nice Wyckoff. Actually, like I think if Ruban Poker was looking at it, it'd be like, yeah, this looks like Wyckoff. Yeah, it's a
yeah.
pretty beautiful structure.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
it. But I could see it getting above that cloud soon. And then once it flips it to support, then it can take off. Yeah.
The interesting thing is like if you look at this weekly chart, it looks the same as the monthly because it's basically just stuck in a range. Like it
Yeah.
looks very, very similar in terms of what it's doing. Like the 5.8 level is right above it at the baseline. And
Oh,
it's
but
just
it's
stuck
holding
in
the, yeah,
it's
it's holding
holding,
the
yeah.
conversion.
It's
Yeah.
holding conversion. And if you also look at the Bollinger Band, like the 20 is also coming to try to grab it as support. Um so it's looking pretty decent. It might still get stuck in range there for a while, but I'm not that bearish on it, especially now it looks like it's like towards the end of the Wyckoff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I've
Yeah.
got a chart for it where it goes up to 601, $6 basically, then all the way back down to 511, just 3 cents higher than where it is. No, wait, than the, never mind. Anyway, $6, then $5.11, then $7.50, 660, and then fifth wave ends at 985.
So the rocket kind of goes up and down, huh?
Yeah,
Like
it's gonna
an
go up and
Yeah.
down
airplane.
from where we are right now. It's basically one, two, three. It just completed a fourth wave, and it's got an ending diagonal fifth wave to finish up to $6.01. Then you'll see an ABC back down to 511 before it can go back, and then have a nicer third wave up to $7.50. That's the short term.
It's a rocket that goes up in waves.
It does.
To the moon.
Relatively speaking, yes.
Well, the next request is if we're done with Rocket,
We're done.
we all can see that Rocket's probably going to go higher, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So the next request I saw was Aspen aerogels. Pretty sure that's how you say it. Anyways, on the GAN, just using the GAN alone, you can see how this has been very symmetrical, but also you can see how it's breaking levels, which is what I hate to see in stocks. Like this orange level was the resistance, tried to maintain it as a support because it was a support here, but it's losing everything. It lost the 45, it lost the ARCs, and it lost everything. So what I really see for this without using any indicators at all, just this, I can see it going back up to this maybe $25, $26 zone and probably rolling over to get to that back to that 45 or that blue angle, simply because it's been a very important angle in the past, and I can see a backtest of it since it never backtested it after it broke out here in February of 2024. So I think it's possible to go back there and touch it, especially this is an example of a bearish pattern of when something cannot maintain support on GAN, this means it's probably going to go lower. Like this is what you saw up here when it was the top, it lost all the support, then it just kept going lower, right? And you're kind of seeing the same thing here, how it's losing this support, and now it looks like it just wants to go lower. But that being said, there is support before that, and one of them is that 200-week moving average right there at $20, and then you got all the other moving averages below it. So that could hold it before that. And then with the Ichimoku there, you still have the cloud. But the cloud does kind of match exactly where that angle is too. So if it ever lost that 200, then I think it could just roll over down to it. So got to watch that $20 level carefully. And if it does lose it, then I think this $14, $15 range is probably going to get hit. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does
hmm
sound good.
Yeah. I don't have much to add for that. I think I charted it before, but the only thing about it is if you look at the overall structure though, it does look like it's been forming higher lows and higher highs. So
Yeah.
I still cannot be like that bearish on it, you know what I mean? But yeah, like I can, and also if you look at like the 2 week chart, you look at Ichimoku on a 2 week, it actually doesn't look bad. Um,
But touching, like, going back to this angle still wouldn't be that bearish.
it wouldn't be,
You know,
yeah. Like it
it
can go
still would be
back to that.
bullish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can go back to that. That's entirely possible. It would be back testing that level again. But it already kind of back tested the horizontal levels already, like with that big giant wick right there. Well, with that big, green candle that went down to, I guess your green curve is at 50, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, like that already kind of back tests the horizontal zone, So I'm not sure. Like it still looks like a bullish market structure, but I cannot argue that it's underneath your arc and
Yeah.
it could gravitate towards the angle. I cannot argue with that. So
Well, just the way I see it, it was a resistance flipped to a support, and then it could not break it as a support. So I see it as this should have never really happened right here, and this was basically the resistance zone. And that just means to me it needs a lot more time. It's not ready to break this level anytime soon, in my opinion.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just simply got overextended, hit a lot of like resistance level, and it just kind of had
Yeah.
to come back down to gravity.
Yep.
Nike, I guess.
Ooh. Yeah.
Nike.
We saw what Starbucks did today, did we not? I mean, geez, Louise. Not gonna short that one anymore. Good let's see. Nike, where was my chart? Was it on log scale? I forget. Yeah, there it was. So yeah, there's Nike having an obvious bounce where it should have because of basically these levels back here kind of match this zone in the past. So I can't be too like bearish on it until it really retests resistance. This is on the monthly chart. You can see, I think personally, it's going to gravitate to this angle over time, whether that's lower in the 60s or whether that's just like horizontal into the 70s. That's anybody's guess. Or it could even come up here and over time get up here in like November of 2026. But ultimately, the most bearish thing you can see is the cloud turned red. And the last time you saw the cloud turning red was basically never, back in 2002. And that was just temporary though, because the cloud turned red because of this big giant candle back in the past in the dot-com crash, really. But that just quickly got back to levels and held support after that. But this one is not quickly doing anything. It just basically goes up, hit more resistance, and it's slowly going down. It's like a slow bleed at this point is the way I see it. So I really think this angle is going to get hit. If it ever does get hit, I could see it being hit down in this zone down here in the months to come, just simply because you look to the left, that is this big demand zone right over here. So I could definitely see this getting hit. And if it ever hits $62 or even like the high 50s or so, I think I would buy it just because that is probably going to be pretty good support to come up to the top. And that is kind of where the 200-month moving average is as well, right? $62. So I
Yeah.
think that could be the target ultimately. And like the last time it really touched that 200-month was also basically never, right?
Never touched it.
Yeah. So I can see it happening for the first time ever, so we'll see what happens with that, but I am not bullish on it still. I don't like it. And I think on the weekly chart, it it has room to go up. Like if you want to play a long on it, whoops, why did I turn that off? If you want to play like a bullish stance, it could go up to these 80s again, 84, maybe even 90 or so. But I think at that point, it just might continue to roll over from that point.
I'm gonna add some confluence to that. If you go back to the monthly and if you do the Bollinger Band, and it's gonna show you some pretty interesting confluence there. So first of all, like the reason why it's not going down any further is because it's just way out, it's just way underneath the lower Bollinger Band, so it couldn't go down that further. But the band is expanding, so there's still some potential for Nike to potentially go down. Now it is
Someone
forming a
kicked
little bit of a
Nike out of the
tweezer.
airplane, and now it's hit terminal velocity.
Yeah, I mean it's just needed to take a break because it just couldn't go down that far, right?
It's falling
But
fast.
it is forming a little bit of a tweezer bottom. It is forming a little
Yeah.
bit of a tweezer bottom, so I have to give it that. But which means that it could potentially bounce up. But the 20-month moving average is also pointing down, so I think you're gonna hit some resistance. Maybe the price could go up and the and the 20-month moving average could point down, and maybe they meet somewhere in like the 80s and they get rejected and might make another small lick down. I can totally see that happening.
Yeah. And like I said, if somebody wanted to be bullish right now, that's fine. Like as long as it's temporary, because I think it can go to the 80s, it can go to the 90s, maybe even can go up to the 20-month and the 100, right? But I still think it's ultimately going to roll over, and this angle is going to be the target. And especially since this 200 MA never got touched ever in its history of life, I really think it's possible that that could happen around like this time. Maybe I'm going to be exact again. Hi, Heidi. Let's go the week of February 3rd, 2025, right there.
Wow. I mean, with that
Yeah.
said, I wouldn't short
Write
this.
that down.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. With that said, I wouldn't short this thing. I mean, you can consider shorting gets to the 80s, 90s, but still,
Yeah,
you know,
not right now.
yeah, I probably would just leave this thing alone.
The time to short is when it back tested this 50 week up or 50-month point up here, and then just get her done.
Blow off top.
Get her done.
Yeah. Get her done. But yeah,
Where
you don't want to
fuck, man.
short it when it's near the lows.
Yeah, I would not short this thing. I have
Not
one
at
of
all.
my channel member ask about CYIO. If you don't mind going through that with me real quick.
CYIO. Whoop, I forgot how to type on a keyboard, so
You're not a cat, so there's no excuse. Yeah,
do
I like how
you
it's
want me to look at the
squeezy.
squeezy
I
or
look I
what?
look how it's squeezy, and also like how the 20-month moving average is pointing up, and also like how
Yeah.
it's trying to find support right there. And if you look at the weekly cloud, it doesn't look bad on the weekly Ichimoku. So yeah, I just yeah, so there yeah, if you look at the weekly, it looks like it's back inside a cloud. It looks like it wants to kind of break through a little bit.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Like it's could be ready to go.
Yeah,
They are
it's
starting to
reclaiming.
expand a little bit,
Yeah,
the Bollinger Bands. That is
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm not that bearish. It's reclaiming the conversion. You know, like if you look at the weekly cloud, you can see something. Yeah, you change the time frame from monthly to weekly. You can see that it's like break back inside the cloud. It found support at the bottom of the cloud. So this doesn't
Yeah, yeah.
look bad to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that looks pretty good.
yeah. So maybe the mythical inverted head and shoulder pattern might be playing out. So
Oh
anyway,
yeah.
yeah. I just wanted to do that one because they requested it. I didn't want
Yeah,
to do
no problem. It
anything
looks
else. I
good.
appreciate it.
It looks like we have, oh yeah, I do see that. And Upstart, that looks like the next request.
Oh yeah,
UPST.
yeah. I talked about that with you on
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, we talked about it together, and look at the cloud. It's back inside on the weekly chart, and it's at the top of the Bollinger Band, a little bit overextended, but could go to maybe $42 or so. I think
That's
we
what I
mentioned,
said. That's why I said
yeah, we
something.
mentioned exactly. That level was mentioned if you guys watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's some Jews. Looks like there's a Katana building too. You know.
Ooh, yeah, 29.55, 29.55. That would qualify as a katana, right?
Yes, it would. Yeah. So if it ends up exploding, which I think it most likely will, but it might probably end up getting rejected from the cloud still initially before going up further because nothing goes up in a straight line. But It's looking pretty decent, guys. I mean, I don't know what to say. It looks more bullish than like Affirm and SoFi. It looks which gets me wonder about the recession narrative, right? Right?
Y-
Right?
Yeah, like what recession? It's another indicator of the everything rally because things are going up together, including this one that everybody was scared of a long time ago, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it was just a lot of people got destroyed from it in 2022, but it looks like there's life coming back. I mean, I cannot be that bearish when you have a bullish engulfing candle that engulfed like the entire year.
The entire
Yeah,
year.
that is true.
So yeah, that's all I have to say. I mean, if you guys want to think about, you guys want to hear like my longer thoughts on Upstart, there's some timestamp. I did a couple of minutes on it with Matt's on Matt's channel just on Saturday. There's a timestamp. Look through it. I'm
Oh
bullish on
yeah.
it.
I fixed those timestamps by the way, so
I
they're
saw
good to
that. I
go.
saw that.
Yeah.
I figured you were probably just gonna wait for your intern to get hired and do that, but
No, I couldn't wait because nobody wants to work for me.
we can see if we can get Garcia to work for you. You got to make more money though before you do that.
That's true. I gotta be private jet status like me, Kevin,
That's right.
before I do that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I might even work for you. Heck, I mean, you got a private jet.
No, I gotta be different. It'll be private yacht.
So we got, I think Vivian asked about BRPHF.
BRP. What was
If you
that?
can type.
HF?
Yeah,
Oh,
Galaxy
Galaxy
Digital
Digital.
Holdings. Yeah, it looks
That's a
great
weird
actually.
ticker.
It looks pretty good to me on the weekly. But
Yeah, it's also breaking above the 200 week moving average, which is exciting to see. And is that a katana? Ooh.
but it's underneath of it. So that's one thing I'm a little bit
So
cautious.
far, the week's not over yet, sir. It
That's
could.
true, man. That is
It
true.
could it could close above it. So I mean if that closes above the conversion on baseline, then you got yourself a bona fide katana and it could just
Yeah.
go cut
Yeah.
through space and time.
And also like if you like zoom out a little bit further, all the way to like 2020, 2021, it's hitting a very important horizontal zone. Ooh, yours is like linear. Okay. It's really
Yeah,
trippy.
I have the linear.
Yeah.
It's a little more
Yeah,
trippy, huh?
if you do like a little bit of a log and then you take out all the other indicators, you can see
Oh, let
like
me
it's basically back testing like a big giant cup. Man, this is getting trippier and trippier.
yeah. I'm morphing space and time right before your eyes, guys. And enjoy it.
Yeah, take all the crap, man. Take off the moving averages, take off the
No.
Ichimoku. Yeah, and you're like, don't tell me what to do, I'll do it. But but
Oh,
it's
look, it looks like is this a formation cat ears right here too? Cat
Yeah,
yeah,
ears,
I
yeah.
guess so,
it's a
yeah.
cat waving at you.
And yeah, I guess so. I think
It's
I see a
pointing
little
up.
bit of shoulder.
Oh
And
yeah,
then the
this is
arm got chopped off.
the famous Cantonese cat formation. This is bullish.
You really need to get something to eat, man. No, but
Maybe I'm just having too much fun with you guys. How about
I
that?
think you are. No,
Yeah.
but I do think that around $7 or so was a pretty important horizontal level, because it just touched a few points, you know, and we
Yeah.
kind of just came back down and wicked and back tested that level. Like,
Yeah.
look at
This
that, you
zone right
know,
here.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
just
and also that was like a previous high back here too, and a previous low back here too. It was like a perfect back test of that.
yeah,
And I think it's ready to go higher. I really do.
yeah.
That
You got the
katana could play out.
clown, you got the katana, you got the horizontal support. I mean, it's yeah, looks pretty decent.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Do we have any other requests? I mean, I like to end with Bitcoin, you know.
Yeah, we can end with Bitcoin here.
Yeah,
All
because
right.
Matt put out on X this morning. It's like, here's this level. When do you think Bitcoin might break out above it? And I'm like looking at my charts and going back and forth, and it's like, yeah, November 14th, 2024, and then it freaking touches the line today. The
But it
same
didn't break
day.
out. It
It didn't
didn't
break
break
out. It's
above
not a
it.
breakout. I was
But
like
you can
amazed.
see. Go ahead.
No, I was just amazed that it came back and touched it. Oh, or
Yeah,
today.
but you can see it touched it exactly and how important that level is. I mean, you can just see how important it is based
Yep.
off of all of these touches in the past, right? So many.
I wonder
So
if we'll get
yeah, I
a
mean,
triangle.
I can't get bullish on it again until it flips that 61.3, and that's going to be
Yeah.
the level that I care about the most compared to any other indicator, really. If the Ichimoku, yeah, it's around 61.68, so that's like the same, the baseline up there.
Oh, no, the
And
conversion line crossed through the baseline.
yeah, it's a bearish cross, but we've seen it before. We saw it before
Yeah,
twice actually. Down here we saw it. See,
no big deal.
I'll take off the moving averages.
Yeah, there's no big deal.
And we saw it here in 2021 right here, and then it continued higher as well, right? The conversion line crossed below the baseline here, and it went higher. So it's not a big deal, but it could just mean more time, really. So I'm not too excited yet, just because there's double resistance really with the baseline and with my 61,300 level for the GAN. So I kind of can see it maybe just going sideways or a little bit lower until it gets to the cloud. Maybe October 7th, 2024 is the target. I want to say that. The week
Right.
of, not the exact date, the week of. And then after that, it'll go probably back to the 61.3 and above. So we'll see. I mean, I would like it to go sooner, but with this baseline resistance and the orange level, I think that it's not ready yet. I really don't.
I have another theory. It could break back above, and then it can go
You want to
sideways.
share your chart?
Then no, I mean just look like I mean yeah, sure I can share it, but
Yeah, go ahead.
it's not anything that's different from yours really. I have a theory that it could end up breaking above your 61,300 level. It's basically actually kind of a little bit like Tesla, to be honest. I think the 61,300 level is going to be like 200 for Tesla, where it's just kind of oscillating around. I can totally see it breaking back above that level and then trying to correct through time and then maybe come back and maybe even wick down and touch the cloud before going higher. That's another path that it could take, you know. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It's under resistance, but it's also reclaiming the conversion line here too. And this big giant wick over here is also not anything to get ignored, you know. So I wonder if it just breaks above and then just kind of goes a little bit sideways, lethargic, getting people more bored for another couple months, and then next thing you know, around like October, somewhere around there, it just bounce on the cloud and just go higher. I can see that too. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got two more requests if you want to just take over.
Ooh, I have
Or
requests.
or three more. IREN, CORZ, and FUTU.
Yeah, I
Oh,
literally,
Baba and Yin too. YINN. Yeah, there's
yeah,
like so many.
I love Vivian, so I'm gonna just well, let's do the lightning round here. Where's
Yeah,
Irene?
it's your turn for the lightning round. Go, 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 go.
Irene, what it does basically it's very simple. Like I'm not even gonna talk too much about Irene. It bounced off of this like symmetrical triangle perfectly, right at that spot right there, right at the cloud. It bounced. And where is it getting rejected right now? At a 0.236 Fibonacci level. And also bounced off a very, very important volume shelf over here. Like this is, if it was going to find support, it's going to find support right there, and it did, right? Around $6. I didn't think it was going all the way down to $6. I was thinking it'd probably end up, getting some support around like 7.5, so around there. But nope, it just went for violence, came all the way down to $6. Found support where it needed to be found, right? Like I don't see any other support like that's stronger than that. Weekly Ichimoku Cloud, symmetrical triangle at the point right there, and a lot of volume shelf, like right on spanning on the top of volume shelf. So I think this thing's probably ready to go up higher, but it may not be V-shaped because you do have some volume shelves up here around like 7.5. You do have a Fibonacci level over here that's still underneath of it right now. So it's probably not going to be like boom, but it might end up going sideways. It might end up getting rejected here. If it's able to break through like around $8 range, I think it's probably gonna go back up like a lot higher to like 12, to back to the top range over here. But right now we're still, we went all the way down and we need to try to break back through about, a couple of resistance zone over here. But I do think that the major resistance zone probably like all the way up to maybe like 8.1, 8.2, somewhere around there. And then after that, you have the potential for price just go up higher, but that might take a couple of months before that happens. So that's what I'm seeing with Irene. Let me see. Oh, and the higher time frame for Irene still looks really good, by the way. If you're looking at not the Ichimoku, if you look at the Bollinger Band, you see like the 20-month is still very, very nicely pointing up. It didn't even really get close to it. This is still a bull trend. It's just basically correction because you have hit a lot of these like Fibonacci level. Well, I guess 0.5 is not really Fibonacci level, but it's like halfway point for the previous high. So, and it also got rejected here on the monthly candle here at like the 0.382. So it's doing exactly what you think it would do. On the monthly, it looks like it does want to close the month probably above the 0.236. So it's just probably going to be stuck in a range here a little bit before breaking above. But overall, this is still a bull trend. So that's IREN. What's the other one? CORZ. CORZ, I don't have much to say about. It's kind of interesting that I'm doing the lightning round, but I'm going to talk a lot faster because of that. So weekly chart here, you can see that it bounced off where it needed to bounce off of, right at the 20-week moving average, and it's still pointing up, right? And this is still a very, very infant chart because they went bankrupt and they came back. But overall, it's just been forming so far based on the price action, it's been forming with nothing but higher highs and higher lows. And it found support where it needed to find. And if you do the boomerang support band over here, you can see that yeah, you can see it basically just bounce right off it very, very beautifully, right? But because price had gone sideways over here for so long, for a couple of months, now you have a little bit of volume shelf resistance right here. That's exactly what it's experiencing. So it's probably gonna need time to kind of push back above. But it might take more time. It might take some additional weeks over here before it pushes back above, right? And you also have like a pretty bad move, like 10% down today because it's right at resistance. Now, if you're asking me where the support's going to be, that's going to be a little bit tougher because this is a little bit of an infant chart. So let's put up the Ichimoku cloud and see if we see anything. Not really, but it also found resistance over here at the conversion line here too, right? Could it go all the way back down to this level around like 7.5 or even down to this volume shelf around 6.8, 7, somewhere around here? That's entirely possible, but that already happened. It came back down, bounced, found support, and now it's stuck in this big giant volume shelf over here. So it's probably going to end up going sideways here within this volume shelf for a little bit longer before going up higher. And that would allow the let me see here, where's my Buddha support band? And that would allow the Buddha support band to catch up over time to push price up higher, right? That's what I think. All right, that was fast.
I'm
What
smiling
else?
so hard right now. I'm taking back my childhood with the Micro Machines guy commercials. Remember the Micro Machines?
Yeah.
They
So,
talk about
If it
that.
doesn't say microchip, it's not a real thing.
Yeah.
because she said no need to chart these, I won't, but I like FUTU. FUTU is a decent chart for me, but I just have a hard time justifying entering it. For a long time I really thought that this could be a pretty decent look. I mean, it's got like a little very nice like a sand triangle look to it. I mean, granted, if you count that wick over here, maybe this is more like it. It did end up like have a little of a false breakout, ended up breaking down again, but still find support here on the line right here, right? So I still think that most likely this ascending triangle part is probably going to work out, especially when price is still, you know, about to potentially break above this volume shelf up here. And overall, I can't really be that. Let me look at the Ichimoku cloud here. I can't really be that bearish looking at this chart, right? Like it bounced off where it needed to bounce off in the weekly Ichimoku cloud, right? I mean, sure, it's underneath resistance right now. It's probably going to end up having some time to try to break above this volume shelf and this resistance level over here again, and the downtrending weekly conversion line. But I think it might end up just going sideways here for a little bit longer, flip the conversion line a little bit more flat before going up higher. I like the setup. I don't hate it. I just have a hard time justifying getting into it because there's so many other opportunities out there. So I like FUTU. What else is there?
Baba and YINN.
Because she said that I don't have to chart it, I'm going to chart it. So if you look at the weekly Ichimoku cloud, you can see that it's been just hugging the Ichimoku cloud here for like 2 years almost, like a year and a half almost, right? Breaking in, oh, everybody is breaking in now. Nope, got rejected. Nope, got rejected. Now you're back into the cloud. You know why this is happening on the weekly time frame? You look at the monthly time frame, there is a reason for that, is because the 20-month moving average just simply hasn't turned flat yet, right? Well, guess what? It's turning more and more flat now. It's turning a little bit more and more flat now. So now you have a chance. Now Baba has a chance to be with Mama, finally, right? Because all it has to
That's a
do
good
is, I know, I'm sorry, I'm lame. It's getting towards the
Oh, so
end.
cute.
But yeah, it's getting a little bit closer to the 20-month moving average, closer and closer. You see like a challenge over here once got rejected. I like the fact that it's already challenged it over here. I feel that, maybe a couple more stabby and maybe going sideways a little bit longer, you're going to turn a 20-month moving average so flat that it wants to kind of break above of it, maybe back test it and go higher. I think this is finally the chance for Baba potentially to turn around. I don't know. I mean, like nobody's talking about Baba anymore, so
Well,
maybe
you know what? I have one request before we leave, and what I think is amazing to see is PayPal, what it did today. PayPal.
PayPal, what did it do? What did it do today, PayPal?
Look on the weekly chart on the Ichimoku.
Oh, you're doing what I'm doing to you, huh?
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Look at
looks
that.
nice. Looks
That's
nice.
the first time since 2021, everybody.
But it
This is a
hasn't
big,
closed yet. It hasn't closed yet.
but it hasn't even gone above. It haven't even touched like the clear skies ahead since 2021. Go back and look at the chart. It
I
hasn't done it.
know. I know. You're not wrong. Well, you have a couple
Like,
of weeks over here.
but it never,
Yeah,
it's
you're
not
not
really
wrong.
above. Yeah.
You're not wrong. Yeah. So it
Yeah,
hasn't
let's
closed yet. It could still be awake because it's PayPal. It doesn't break through the cloud. That's what it does, right? But no, I'm just kidding. I'm actually interested in buying PayPal like maybe later on in the year. But I just don't think it's the time is now yet. You know why it's doing that? Look at the 20-month moving average.
yeah.
You know why it's doing that, right?
It's
This
flattening.
Yeah, this stock is crazy because it bounced through the lower Bollinger Band on the monthly, and it went and touched the lower Bollinger Band on the other side, and it found support, and then it's starting to bottom up here. So the 20-month moving average, I think, is the telltale, like it's flattening. I think you got a good chance breaking above, which is confluent with the Ichimoku on the weekly. Like there's a lot of confluence between the two, right? I mean, like just
Yeah.
it's basically doing the same thing, right?
But I think that setup is looking really good for the
Yeah.
future,
Green cloud.
personally.
I
Yeah.
still think by the end of the year, maybe 70s. I still don't
Yeah.
see it breaking about 70s by the end of the year. I would be happy for PayPal holders if I'm wrong, but I can see it totally go up to like 70, and then that would be the end of the year. And then the next year is going to be like the triple digits, I think.
Yeah.
That's my best
No,
guess.
I agree with that. I saw that today and I'm like, it's above. This is exciting. This is good news.
Yeah.
So
You know why I
gotta
think that is because the monthly, like you can see that is reclaiming the Tenkan or the conversion line from resistance to support.
yeah.
It's a very positive development. I thought it was going to happen a few months ago. It broke down a little bit and just it wasn't ready yet. But now towards the end of the year, I think it's probably going to hit the bottom
Mm.
shelf up here around like
Yeah. Yeah.
76. And
Well,
also
also
yeah,
go ahead.
that right there.
Also the on ARKK on the monthly chart, the baseline looks like it's gonna hold us support too. It's beautiful.
Woo! It's stuck in a range, but yeah, it's finding support there.
But no, it crossed above the conversion line crossed above the base. That's pretty
Yeah,
beautiful.
you got a
Yeah.
pretty nice bullish cross over here. I think
Yeah.
it's maybe stuck in range here in the short term, but it looks like the basic behavior is ending.
So
And
what's go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to show like the 20-month moving average. It'd be nice to close back above it, but it's positive sloping, so I think it's probably going to end up, if not this month, I think like next month is probably going to end up closing above of it. So
Yeah.
the bullish band's also squeezing.
Yeah.
So
It looks
yeah.
so nice.
Yeah, everything looked pretty nice here. I don't have anything complaints about like ARK. Just
So I
when
think
nobody is bullish on it anymore.
yeah, but I think the moral of tonight's show is everything is looking really good. Right?
Yeah,
Like
I mean they keep printing money. I mean,
yeah, like everything is basically already hit its support or near support or is approaching some kind of resistance that needs to break through. I think the setups are
yeah.
just looking better
I
and
was
better.
looking
And
at
so,
FUBO.
yeah.
No, I was looking at FUBO. I was like, should I buy FUBO? I don't know. Could it be a double bottom?
Yeah, it
Um,
kind of looks like it.
it kind of looks like it. I didn't pull the trigger because the 20-month is still like way above, and because the Ichimoku is still like way above, so I didn't end up pulling it. But even like Lucid, even a crap stock like Lucid, like it's getting close to the conversion line here again. Rivian is
Yeah.
looking pretty decent.
Ooh,
Yeah.
r-
I'm just
breakout
saying.
coming.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I mean, like
I
it's
see
200
lower
resistance.
highs and lower lows.
We
Yes,
we
you're
did
not wrong.
we did say everything rally, right?
So it could break back above and form a lower high before it
Yeah.
gets rejected again. But anyway, yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
But yeah, I can't really see anything to be bearish on at the moment. I just see things to be cautious on as don't get too excited yet because I don't think it's ready to break some resistance levels yet. For example, Bitcoin. So yeah, just got to be patient, but everything the setup is looking great. It's really looking great for the future.
I like the moral of the story, and I want Tracker to also let us know in terms of what he thinks about humanity in the future.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, I'm always bullish on humanity in the future. I know they say past performance isn't indicative of the future, but really, you just watch the stock market as a graph of human progress, and it's just ever growing, like the snail's shell. It gets bigger and bigger. We go higher and higher. It's 3 steps forward and 2 steps back, and but eventually, you know, we'll reach the singularity, we'll reach the stars, and then we'll reach within ourselves.
Well, essentially, you can look at the stock market indexes as the inflation rate. So when stocks go up, that means inflation's going up too.
Yeah,
Well, it's into the
except
money
that
from all
yeah,
the
it's funny. The inflation rate doesn't really go up that high because all the money is being poured into stocks. Like they have to put the money somewhere, and everybody just needs like a 401k. And next thing you know, like yeah, they die, and then the estate tax like takes a big chunk of it. So, you know, like the money has to go somewhere. It's, yeah, it's interesting, but it's not because they're printing money like crazy, which they are. Everybody always thinks that way. But the truth is, why is it that we had decades of money printing ever since we got out of the gold, like completely got out of the gold standard in the 70s with by Nixon? How come we end up keep printing money and inflation actually has been relatively well? Because there's a lot of deflationary forces that's been in place for a few decades, and that's just going to keep going. You know, in the 80s, China came on, brought up great, you know, deflation because of cheap goods being flooded in the market. In the 90s, that's when you start having like companies like Microsoft, you know, to come in and really help, you know, speed up the workforce, and that brought a lot of deflationary forces in the 2000s. And you know, like it basically you have like, you know, Amazon, you have like Apple, you have all of these great products that came in that brought great deflation into the system. So they have to print money. They have no choice. It's not because the Fed is irresponsible. They are, but they're not. They actually have to print money because that's how the economy works. So I don't.
Well, yes
Go
and
ahead.
no, but in 2008, the economy did break, and our debt changed to a debt servicing, and that's all we're doing is servicing our debt somehow. And it's not like the good kind of debt that we used to have anymore. And it's just like the system's broken. They have to keep printing a lot more to fix it, or not even fix it, to maintain stable stuff until maybe there's a great reset or something else, you know?
Unless if the deflationary forces keep on coming,
Like
because
AI. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that
Yeah, AI fixes it. Yeah.
they might get bailed out. Um, yeah.
Or
Plus,
both will
banks,
happen.
yeah, banks can't fail anymore unless if the country fails. Keep buying stocks. Not financial advice.
Yeah, that's true.
That's anyway. That's my 2 cents on the like on the economy. I think I probably ramble on too much. Sorry.
No, I love hearing you talk.
Yeah, I like your 2x speed. That's really cool.
It
It's a
is.
lightning round. You gotta do 2x. I
Now
know. I was,
I'm gonna listen to your 2x voice on 2x in replay and see how that goes.
hey, you know, I'm a passionate lover of the stock market. I'm a
Me too.
I'm a passionate lover of crypto. We're both passionate lovers, and we somehow met one another, and then Tracker somehow came along, and now we are a triumvirate. So
Yeah.
we're
It's
very
all meant to
thankful.
be. It's all part of the simulation, guys. It's all
It must be.
pre-programmed.
It must
Mhm.
be. Like I think if people don't know, like Matt's previous like Instagram name was something about like the what is it, the hat, the Matt in I don't
The Matt in
remember,
the Hat, yeah.
the Matt in the
If you
hat.
guys
Yeah.
want to know, you can look at my, yeah. It's that Matt in that
Because
Matt in the Hat, yeah.
you're a public personality now, so yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So
And
I think it was destiny that you're gonna meet the cat as well, and then
yeah.
Tracker, you that day on the toilet, that was history.
The one where I fixed your chart.
That day on the
Um,
toilet, I'll never forget it. I woke up one day, it was like this guy like fixed my chart in the toilet, and he claimed that he wiped his phone. Anyway, that was that. I'm done.
I sanitized my phone after that.
That's the part that I wasn't sure.
Allegedly.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Allegedly.
I definitely sanitized it.
but yeah, we keep making history. I hope it's been fun. It's the hour to get off and go back to our lives and be sad again. So
Oh,
Yes.
I've got next week to look forward to seeing you guys again. And then we talk all day long. Like you guys don't see it, but like we have our little channel where we're just chit chatting all day long and telling jokes at each other. So
yeah, I tend to. I think Matt is actually a lot more interesting offline. Um, and I think yeah, Trekker is still very honorable. He's still very nice.
Spectrum.
But
Well,
yeah,
yeah, today I was creating avatars for everybody. It was amazing.
I know. Those are fun avatars.
yeah. Well, all right. With that said, it's been a good show. You guys
2
have a great
hours.
night. Okay.
All right, you too.
Yeah.
Right.
Take
Night,
care.
everybody.